So today, let's get started with yesterday I mean last sessions we saw all these things like different types of constructors, like what are default constructors, parameterized constructor, copy constructor, and static constructor. And coming to static, we discussed something like under static keyword there are different type of elements like static data members, static methods, and static constructor. All are done. So we have something called static classes that we will discuss when we talk about something called static, types of classes in C Sharp. Okay. So now today's session is we are talking about something called destructor. Okay. So what is destructor and what is use of destructor? Advantages, and then okay. So difference between constructor and destructor. All these things we'll discuss today. So what is destructor actually? It is a special method which will be called automatically when an object is destroyed or out of scope, or when an object is out of scope. So in these situations it will be called. And destructor name, so how do you identify destructor? Destructor name is also same as class name preceded by tilde sign. This sign is called as tilde symbol, tilde sign. Okay, so that you can easily identify. And we cannot use any access modifiers with the destructor. That is the point we need to remember. Okay, so usually we write both constructors and destructors in every class and destructors in every class, in the sense like a formality that we write every class we write a constructor followed by destructor. Okay, but constructor will be called at the time of creating object because we are constructing or initializing elements, whereas destructor will be called at the time of closing our application. Okay, so what is the use of destructor? Means it is used to do the cleanup resources. It is used to for cleaning up resources before an object is removed from memory. Okay, so that is the actual usage of destructor. Okay, so which will be called automatically, just like constructor. How constructor will be called? Implicitly. Okay, same thing will be applied for destructor. But when it is called, whenever object is destroyed means when object is gone out of scope or destroyed or removed from memory, then destructor will be called. But constructor is for initializing the data member. Whenever object is created, then constructor will be called. Whenever object is out of scope, then destructor will be called. Okay, so what is the main purpose of destructor? For cleaning up the resources. Already we keep on creating so many objects for a class, then we keep on moving from one object to another object, then some objects will be there in the memory unnecessarily. So to remove those objects from memory, then we make use of destructor. That is the actual thing that we need to remember. Okay, so definitely they'll ask you, do you know destructors in C sharp, or what is constructor, what is destructor, like that they'll ask you. We should have answer by specifying all these points. And how do you identify destructor? Just by saying tilde sign. So if you have tilde sign before the class name, that method is called as destructor. For example, if you have a class called employee. Okay, class employee, this is my class. In this class, if you have anything like this, like when you say CTO or Visual Studio, so you'll be getting something like public employee. So this had to be constructor, we can easily identify. Okay, so whichever method is having class name as method name, that method is called as constructor. We can easily identify this is a constructor. Coming to destructor is concerned, so same thing, class name, it is preceded by tilde sign, but we should not have any access modifier like public or internal or something, so we will write like this. So this is called as a destructor. So what is the purpose of constructor? To construct elements, I mean values to the elements. So to initialize the members, data members of the class, we use constructor. But destructor is to remove the objects, or removing any object from memory. Okay. So whenever we wanted to clean the resources of your application, we use destructor. Okay. But remember guys, when you are running this program, you can't see the message. Suppose if I write some message here in destructor, console.writeLine destructor invoked like this. Here I wrote console.writeLine constructor invoked like that. You may see this constructor invoked message, but you may not see this destructor invoked message, because this will be called after completion of main method. So excuse me, after completion of main method we can't see, right? So that is the reason we need to use something called we need to press Control F5 from the keyboard so that I can see that. So let me show you with an example now so that you'll understand more clearly. Let's switch to Visual Studio. So oops, demo 14 was the previous example. Let's make it as demo 15. So I'm selecting console app.NET framework guys, because it has that stopping it, like once the output is displayed you can see that. Oops, demo 15. So create. So let's create a class called sample, in which we are writing a constructor. Okay. Yeah. So let's, what is this? Destructor demo. Yeah. Okay. So class sample I'm taking guys. You can take any name. Class sample, in which I'm writing a constructor. How do we write it? CTOR, press tab, you will get constructor. So here what I'm writing, console.writeLine constructor invoked, or default constructor invoked, like that you can see. Okay. So this is said to be constructor or default constructor or instance constructor. Okay. Let's write a normal method just to call normal method. I'm writing something like hello. I'm writing. So here I'm writing hello from sample class. It's a normal method guys. Okay. Sample class, and then let's run it. Okay, we'll create object for sample class, and it will be automatically called as soon as we create object, and this we need to call explicitly because it's a normal method. Normal method. Okay. Or instance method we call it. Now come back to main method. Here I'm creating sample. Sample is equal to new sample. So let's run this and see guys. So when you run this, you can see the constructor only, because we didn't call this hello method. So you will get only constructor message. See, it is stopping automatically. In order to, I mean, it is closing automatically. In order to stop the output, so I'm writing here console.read key, or instead of console.read key, you can press Control Fn F5 from the laptop. Control plus Fn plus F5. Now you can see this constructor invoked. Okay. Yeah. So now what I'm saying is, so what should I press if you want to see? I mean, if you are writing like this, if you want to see, okay, let's see this destructor also, then we will write this code. What about hello? I forgot to call, that's why it is not getting called. So I need to call this sample dot hello. Then hello will be called. Let's run it and see. Again, I'm using Control F and F5 only for this program, guys. Not for all the programs we need not use control F and F5. You can just write console or read key also, that's also fine. See guys, in constructor invoked followed by hello from sample class. Constructor is a default, it is implicitly invoked, but this we need to call explicitly the dot. Okay, yeah. So now I am writing something called destructor. How to write this destructor? Just like constructor, only CTOR I am saying, and just I need to remove this and keep a tilde sign. This is called as a destructor. Destructor. Just what do we write actually? If you have any arrays or any other data structures, to remove them from the memory variables or whatever, then we use destructor actually. But right now I don't have any data or variables in my program. That is the reason just I'm writing a small message. So that is destructor invoked. Okay, just a small message saying that it is called. Okay, so let's run it and see. So this will also be called automatically, guys. We need not call it, and the constructor also will be called automatically as soon as we create object. But this will be called as the object is out of scope. Let's run it and see. If you run normally, I mean we need to press Control F and F5 because we don't have console.read key. Okay, so let's write console.read key and see what happens. Let's run it now. So when you say console.read key, you are able to see constructor invoked and hello from sample class. So console.read key is still running. So that's why you are unable to see the destructor message. Now destructor message displayed actually in the background. You are unable to see. For that reason, what we do is just remove this or comment this, and then Control F and F5 from the keyboard, so that you might be seeing. You are able to see that. Now you see, guys. Constructor invoked, hello from sample class, destructor invoked. So when the destructor invoked is coming after completion of all the lines of main method. So how do you see that? Control plus Fn plus F5. You need not depend upon this console.read key, because console.read key is running means what? Still the program is running. So when destructor will be called once the program is end, then only object will be out of scope by the time this will be called. Okay, so this is the way to write a destructor. But what is the fun of writing a single message or single line of message? There is no use, right? So that is what we feel. So in the next example, we will see how to make use of a destructor in order to remove memory for an array. So we'll take an array in the next example and we'll try to, remove it completely from the memory. So how to do that? So let's get started. And there is something called garbage collection that you can utilize, like you can remove it explicitly. If you want to remove any object from memory, you can use this. Okay, just by saying so whatever object we have taken, sample object is equal to null, you can say. So this is the way you can remove an object from memory. Okay, so then so whenever you say sample is equal to null, then object will be out of scope. Object will be out of scope. In this way you can remove the object from memory. Then you can call, if you want to do the cleanup activity, you can call something called gc means garbage collection dot collect method. So this collect method will call the garbage collection, means it will do the cleanup activity. It will do the cleanup procedure. It will remove the memory which is out of scope. Okay, so then you can see this. This is the way to call a destructor. This is another way. So of course you are getting it without writing gc.collect also. Okay, Control F and F5, you can see that. But usually people will write like this, gc.collect, in order to clear the garbage collection. Okay, this is another way to make the object null. Means if you want to make the object out of scope, you can make it null, and then you can call the garbage collector to make it to clean the memory. I mean to remove the object from the memory completely. Okay, so we will see the next example in which we are writing an program which is having some array, so that you will see the actual use of destructor. Okay, so oops underscore demo 16 I'm taking. So create. So now what are we doing? Destructor demo 2. Okay, so what are we doing? Removing a memory, an array from memory. Generally what happens if I define an array with any size, okay, so that many, suppose if I define an array with the 10 size, that 10 into 4 40 bytes will be allocated, but after utilizing all of them I wanted to remove that completely from memory. I want to remove all the objects from memory. So how to do that? So that we will see now with an example. Okay, so let's create another class now. So let's say sample. Here I'm taking an array integer like numbers is equal to numbers, something like that. I'm not giving any size here, but I want to give size from the constructor. Okay, ctor. So numbers is equal to new integer of 10 means you will get only 10 size. 10 elements will be created for this array. So defining an array, declaring an array. Okay, array is declared, but size I wanted to take it from user. Whatever size he's giving inside the constructor, that size I wanted to allocate. Okay, integer size, that size I wanted to pass here. So user may pass here inside the constructor as like 5, 10, 9, whatever, how many elements he or she wanted to give, that will be the size of the array. Okay, so after initializing or storing some values in the array, I wanted to remove it. How do we remove it? So with the help of a destructor, I wanted to remove it. Then what I'm saying, sample, and here I'm saying numbers is equal to null. So the array, whatever my array name is numbers, I want to make it null here in the destructor. Just for the sake of understanding, I'm writing here console.writeLine constructor invoked here, and here the size of the array I'm giving here. Array size is, just for the sake of understanding I'm giving guys like size, whatever size is given by user, like 5, 9, whatever, that we are giving here. For understanding what I'm saying, destruct invoked and the array is removed. Array is removed from memory, like this I'm giving. Okay, for easy understanding. Now let's go to this main class where I'm creating a sample class. Sample s is equal to new sample, and here I'm passing some size. It's my wish, like 9 or 5 or whatever. So with that size, whatever I'm passing, the array will be initialized, and that many cells will be allocated, elements will be created. Okay, so then if you have any methods, you can call it guys, or else you can simply just call it as s equals to null. Okay, then gc dot collect, garbage collection I'm calling. That's it. Okay, let's run it and see. Control Fn F5, like this I'm writing. See guys, first we have invoked default constructor is invoked. I pass 9 as the parameter, so that array is defined with the 9 size. So 9 into 4, okay, 36 elements. I mean size is bytes are occupied for the 9 elements, and then after that I just removed the I just made my object as null. Automatically destruct is invoked, and then automatically array is removed from the memory. So in that way I can write some code here by calling garbage collection method and making the object null. Automatically destructor will be called. So this is the way we can work with destructor. So in interviews they might ask you what is the purpose of destructor. Means you can say, so once the array size is defined, so we cannot increase the size of the array at the same time we can't decrease the size of the array. But once the array is utilized, can I remove it from memory? Yes, it is possible. With the help of destructor we can do it. So like this we can say example of destructor in two ways. So okay, so we have defined an array, declared an array. Here I'm giving the size in constructor to create an array. Okay, so here is array is defined with some size, with the given size. Okay, here in a destructor we are removing the memory, removing array from the memory. Okay, so in this way you can make it possible. We can make use of destructor. Okay, so usually for every class we add a constructor followed by destructor. It's a formality that every developer will do. Okay, yeah. So now we are going to discuss differences between, let's copy this code. Okay, so let's see the differences between constructor and destructor, guys, because this is also one of the most common interview questions. Okay, so what is difference between constructor and destructor? Okay, so coming to the constructor, constructor is used to initialize data members. It is used to initialize data members. Okay, coming to the destructor is concerned, so what is use of destructor? To clean the resources, clean up the resources before object destruction. Use it to clean up resources before object destruction. Okay, and it is invoked when an object is created. So coming to the destructor, it is invoked when an object is destroyed. When an object is destroyed, that is why it is called as destructor or garbage collected. Okay, so we can overload, in the sense we can add multiple constructors in a class, guys. This is a very important point. So means constructor overloading is possible. Overloading is possible means we can write as many as constructors you want. It may be one default constructor, one parameterized constructor, one copy constructor. You can write like that 3 to 4 constructors, depends upon your requirement. But coming to destructor, we can write only one. We can't write more than one. So overloading is not possible. Destructor overloading is not possible. Only one destructor should be there per class, so we cannot write more than. Okay, and we can call explicitly. Okay, constructor can be called explicitly by passing any parameters, or by passing an object we can call copy constructor or any constructor, parameterized constructor, depends upon the parameters, but we can't call automatically or explicitly, can't be called explicitly. Okay, so like this we have some differences. And coming to the physical appearance, always has the name as same name as class name, here also has the same name but preceded by tail symbol. Okay, same name as class name preceded by tilde sign. This sign should be there. Okay, then only it is called as destructor. Okay, so can use access modifiers. Okay, can be public, private, protected, or internal. You can give anything for a constructor, but we cannot use any, cannot have access modifiers. Access modifiers are not allowed actually. If you write it, it's an error, guys. Okay, access modifiers for destructor. Okay, so like this, we have so many differences between constructor and destructor. So these are the interview questions, guys. Like in interviews, definitely they'll ask you what is difference between constructor and destructor. The first and foremost thing is the constructor is used to initialize the data members, whereas destructor is used to clean up the resources before an object is destroyed. And it is invoked whenever the object is created, but it is invoked whenever the object is destroyed. And constructor overloading is possible, means we can have two or more constructors in a class, but we can have only one destructor in a class. And can be called explicitly. You can call constructors explicitly, but we can't call destructors explicitly. Whenever the object is gone out of scope, then only destructor will be called. We don't have choice to call destructor explicitly. And constructor name and class name should be same, but here constructor name, destructor name and class name should be same preceded by tilde sign. So the class, but we don't have any access modifiers for destructor. But for constructor, you should keep public, private, or protected, or internal. If you don't give any keyword by default, it might take a something like private. That's why we give public class name like that. Okay, so that's all about differences between constructors and destructor. Okay, so it's a formality that in every class we write a constructor and destructor. Apart from those, we will write multiple methods according to our requirement. Okay, that's all about constructor, destructors.